Forest Park, our city's crown jewel, boasts as one of the most beautiful urban parks in the world. It's known for its cultural institutions and beautiful natural and recreational areas. And during the summer months, a specific acrobatic songbird calls it home.
I like to brag it's probably the largest urban colony in North America.
This is John Miller. He's referring to the purple martin population he's helped grow in Forest Park.
I'm kind of like one of those little kids who knows all about Tyrannosaurus Rex or something, you know.
Purple martins, being swallows, are among those birds that take their food, insects, as they fly through the air.
I have had an interest in purple martins all my life, like many people. I learned about it from my grandfather in Kentucky.
Purple martins, who aren't actually purple, are long-distance migrant swallows who winter in South America and return north in the spring to nest and care for their young. But what makes the purple martin unique is their existence thrives in close proximity to humans.
Purple martins as a bird species, are totally dependent on human-provided housing. They don't nest in natural cavities anymore.
How did that happen? Did they evolve that way because of humans?
Some historical accounts actually document that Native Americans may have been the first to host purple martins in natural gourds. But I think some of it also just happened by accident. Early colonialists in North America put up a lot of multi-compartment birdhouses because they were decorative. You know, that's something that was done in Europe. And purple martin said, well, this is better than a woodpecker hole, so.
This will help them out.
This is why what Miller is doing is so important. He's been leading the effort to attract and multiply this songbird population in Forest Park by building, buying, and maintaining these structures on poles. Purple martins are not an endangered species, but they have been in decline.
I spend my time researching, but according to the North American Breeding Bird Survey, the population is 8.6 million. That sounds like a lot, but the most numerous bird in North America is the American robin, and there's 400 million robins. I love robins, but there's a lot of robins. So
they don't need your time.
They don't need our help. They don't need our help, right.
So for the last 20 years, with support from Forest Park Forever, Miller and these human-made boxes are doing their part to keep the purple martin off the endangered list.
So here's babies that are progressing to sort of teenage years. They look to be about 16, 18 days old. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, if I'm counting all the noses.
Over the last 20 years, we've learned about what is the best type of housing? What size should the compartment be in order to give the babies the best chance of being successful in fledging? And we've also, for instance, created special shaped entrances into the housing that blocks certain invasive species, house sparrows and European starlings, for example. One of the things we look for as we're going through is an infestation of bird mites, which can weaken the babies. And if the mites get really bad, we can kind of change out all the nest material, which might sound a bit intrusive, but it really does. When you attract a colony of purple martins, you become somewhat of a amateur wildlife biologist. You're not a professional, so you need to be careful and foremost do no harm, you know. But those of us who are really into the hobby lower the housing once a week during the breeding season, take notes on eggs, how many babies. We try to correct any problems that we see, removing any dead birds. Sometimes you might get wet nests because of heavy rain. We can actually replace the nest material, that type of thing. So we try to manage them as best we can to help them fledge the most young that they can.
So are you saying that you actually provide them the material to make their nests? They don't even have to go out and find it?
Well, a little bit. We help them out because if they were nesting in a woodpecker natural cavity that was rough on the bottom, you know, they wouldn't need much nesting material. So we do put a little bit of pre-nest in the housing just to help them out, and then they add to it and kind of top it off.
These are some pampered birds.
Well, they are. Purple martins also will, as grit, collect tiny mussel shells along the waterways, but a little more difficult to find those in the big old cities, so I help them out with some eggshells.
And if they are successful in fledging young, purple martins have what is called a strong site fidelity. The adults will return to the same housing spring after spring, as long as they're successful in raising babies and getting them out in the air and moved out of the house.
Do you feel a personal responsibility for these birds?
I absolutely do, and I worry about it. I'm not getting any younger, and so I have recruited a couple of really good volunteers. And the thing that we're trying to do is perpetuate the tradition of people erecting housing.
What Miller and the other volunteers are doing here is a thankless job. Today, around 100 pairs of purple martins make Forest Park home each summer, each fledging an average of 7 young.
I see that first purple martin return in March, and I get sentimental. I think, well, this is so cool. That guy came all the way from South America, 3,000 miles. How amazing. And they start departing in July and start a new season. I joke, they have some unique vocalizations. I joke they speak Portuguese. I'm not sure, but they probably spend more time in Brazil than in North America. Yeah.
Portuguese to you?
Yeah, it is.
For Living St. Louis, I'm Anne Marie Berger.